Dear friends and respected sir, we sincerely hope very few of you would have heard about Chiune Sugihara, the diplomat who defied an empire and saved thousands of lives with the tip of his pen. Yes, you heard it right, just with the tip of his pen. Let us go back to the summer of 1940. The world was already engulfed in the flames of World War II. The atmosphere is thick with uncertainty all around. The story begins in Kaunas, the temporary capital of Lithuania. Poland has already been crushed by the Nazi war machine to the west. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union has just annexed Lithuania from the east. Thousands of Jewish refugees who had fled Poland to take shelter in Lithuania are now trapped. The Soviets are beginning to purge the country. The refugees realize that if they stay, they will die. Their only theoretical escape route is a bureaucratic loophole. They need a transit visa to cross the vast Soviet Union to reach Japan, and from there sail to the Dutch island of Curacao in the Caribbean, which supposedly required no entry visa at that time. But to cross the Soviet Union, they still needed a Japanese transit stamp. Chiune Sugihara is the newly appointed Japanese vice consul in Kaunas. He is a fluent Russian speaker, an intelligence gatherer, and a man who deeply respects the strict hierarchy of the Japanese imperial government. One fine morning, he wakes up in his consulate residence to a very strange, low sound. He walks to the window, pulls back the curtain, and is met with chilling sight. Outside the iron gates of the consulate, standing in the dawn mist, is a massive crowd. Men, women, and children are huddled together, exhausted and terrified. They are completely silent, just staring at the building. Sugihara sends a staff member to ask what they want. The answer is desperate. Visas, please. Sugihara is bound by strict rules. The Japanese Foreign Ministry requires applicants to have a valid destination visa and sufficient funds for travel. These refugees have neither. Over the next few days, Sugihara cables Tokyo 3 times. He describes the desperate humanitarian situation and requests permission to waive the rules. The replies from Tokyo are swift and absolute. No exceptions, do not issue the visas. Japan is allied with Nazi Germany. Defying orders is not just a fireable offense. In Imperial Japan, it is a disgrace to one's family and borders on treason. Sugihara is torn between his rigid duty as a diplomat and his conscience as a human being. He discusses this matter with his wife Yukiko. They have 3 young children to protect, but as they look out the window at the growing crowd, people sleeping on the pavement, clinging to the iron gates, Yukiko agrees with him. They cannot turn their backs. Sugihara makes his bold decision. He will defy his government at the risk of his career and his family's safety. On July 31st, Sugihara sits at his desk, opens his ledger, uncaps his fountain pen, and begins to write. Because the official forms are not meant for this kind of mass issuance, he has to write much of the complex Japanese script by hand. He writes visa after visa, stamping them with the red ink of the consulate seal. He works for 18 to 20 hours a day. The physical toll is immense. After a few days, his hands cramps so severely he can barely hold the pen. His wife has to massage his shoulders, and he applies a lotion to his aching fingers late at night so he can resume writing the next morning. He knows that every minute he rests, a family's chance at survival slips away. He manages to produce roughly 300 visas a day, a normal month's worth of work for a consulate. By late August, the Soviet authorities demand that all foreign diplomats leave Kaunas immediately. The Japanese consulate is forced to close. Sugihara takes his family and moves to Metropolis Hotel in the city center to wait for his train. But the crowd follows him. They fill the lobby and the streets outside his window. Sitting on his bed in the hotel room, he continues to write frantically, passing visas through the door and dropping them out the window to the people below. He was very well aware that every stroke of his pen is another life pulled from the brink, so he could not afford to stop.
The final day arrives. Sugihara and his family are escorted to the Kaunas railway station to board the train to Berlin. The platform is chaotic, swarming with refugees begging for one last signature. Even as he walks to the train, Sugihara is writing. He boards his carriage and leans out the window, using the side of the train as a desk. The whistle blows, the train begins to lurch forward. When he completely runs out of official visa paper, he begins frantically signing blank sheets of paper with his signature and throwing the official consulate seal onto them, telling the refugees to fill in the destination themselves. As the train picks up speed and pulls away from the platform, Sugihara runs out of paper entirely. He leans out the window, bows deeply to the remaining crowd, and shouts, "Please forgive me, I cannot write anymore. I wish you the best." Someone in the crowd shouts back, "Sugihara, we will never forget you. I will surely see you again." Sugihara's defiance cost him everything. In 1947, the Japanese Foreign Office asked him to resign due to downsizing. However, some sources, including his wife, Yukiko Sugihara, have said that the Foreign Ministry told Sugihara he was dismissed because of that incident in Lithuania. Disgraced and without a pension, he worked menial jobs, including selling light bulbs door to door to support his family. He lived in total obscurity, never speaking of what he had done, assuming that most of the people he gave visas to had perished in the war anyway. It wasn't until 1968, 28 years later, that a man named Yehoshua Nishri, one of the refugees who had kept his Sugihara visa, tracked him down in Tokyo. Only then did Sugihara learn that his cramped, exhausted handwriting had worked. His visas had been honored. He was finally satisfied. His efforts didn't go in vain. He had saved an estimated 6,000 lives. Today, tens of thousands of descendants owe their existence to his resolve.